when you listen to someone tell you that they have some kind of problem, issue, anything that they feel like stuck in, um, you'll very often hear that person, if they're going to open up with you, tell you about how um, how kind of like what they want, but they're probably going to tell you more about what they don't want than what they do want. For instance, somebody might say to you, I wish I could just get rid of this jealousy. Um, I I know that it doesn't make sense, and it's I'm worried about losing my girlfriend, but my jealousy is likely to be the cause of me losing her. But I just want it to go away. I want to just not be jealous. I want to just not have all this anxiety and fear. I don't want to be distracted every time I try to study. I, I don't want to feel so nervous when I meet somebody new. And you've heard people speak like that, haven't you? When they're really being open about what's going on and what they are um, looking for. I, I want to make sure that I don't use. I want to make sure that I don't drink. I want to make sure that my boyfriend doesn't cheat. Um, so here's an experiment. Um, if you have been successful in doing something for your entire life, do you believe it would be possible for you to do it for just one more minute? I mean, if it was really worthwhile, if there was a major payoff, if you were going to get really, really rewarded, would you be able to do this thing you've done for your whole life for 1 minute more? Even if you don't know what it is. Well, who thinks they could? Who's who's brave enough to think they could? So Gene and Aaron are brave enough to think they can succeed. Kate's brave enough to think she can succeed. You know, I have the people coming to me saying, could you help me become more confident? And I say, I don't know whether I can. I'm not sure I'm any good at it. Let me see. I'll try this way. I'm going to start small. I'm going to say, if you have been successful doing something for your entire life, do you think I could get you confident enough that you think you could do it for another minute? And we have two people think, I think so. And all the rest, we got three people saying, I guess maybe if I've done it my whole life, I could probably do it for another minute. All right, I get it. You know, who wants to shoot at a tiny little target that's too far away? Let's make it a bigger target or bring it closer. Let's make it easier. You don't even have to do it for another minute. Could you just do this thing for 30 seconds more? Could you hang on to it for 30 more seconds? You've been doing it your whole life. Here it comes. I get to pick what it is, but I guarantee you've been successful your whole life. And all you have to do now for the next 30 seconds to win the prize is absolutely do not think about a mermaid with a big red tail hanging onto a trapeze. There you go. How'd you do? Well, what a bunch of miserable failures you guys are. Nobody was even able to do it for 30 seconds, and you had your whole life succeeding behind you. Why couldn't you do it just a tiny little bit longer and win the prize? Because you know what it means to not think of a mermaid with a big red tail. At least the you that you call I know what that means. But there's another you that you don't call I. What do you call it? And people say, it. And think about that one. That would be kind of scary, wouldn't it? Um, Want to come over? Yeah, I'd like to, but I can't get it to come with me. It? Yeah, that thing that's with me, but I'm not, it's not who I'm identifying with. I don't know. That's over my head. If that's your problem, don't raise your hand. Um, it's the thing people call self. And the thing that we call self, as in, I don't like myself, that thing, you know? I'm trying to understand myself, but I just don't like myself, and I think I hate myself. And and then I went to my therapist, and she said that I had to love myself before I could even get anybody else to love me. How can I ever get anybody to love me if I can't even love myself? That thing, self, the self thing understands a lot of what you think, but one of the things it doesn't understand is negation, particularly when it comes to something you would be aiming at or interested in or would like to accomplish. It doesn't get that at all. So when I said, do your best, come on, 30 seconds, you've been successful your whole life, 30 seconds more, just don't think of that red-tailed mermaid. You heard exactly what I said, but the rest of your mind missed one of those words. And the word it missed was don't. Or if we unpack don't, because it has some freaking apostrophe, I don't like those. So if we unpack that and we get do not, but it gets do, it doesn't understand not. So hence, that thing you call self heard me say, hey, just think about a red-tailed mermaid on a trapeze. And it said, okay, there you go. So if you thought of a red-tailed mermaid, what I would suggest to you is this thing you call self. How long did it take you to think it? Not so long, which means the thing you call self is really cooperative. If it, but it, but if somebody is really cooperative with you, they're probably going to be cooperative with what they understand that you want. And if they understand what you want isn't what you actually want, and they're looking to cooperate, they're probably going to do what they hear you think you want, and that's going to be different than what you what you actually want. So what can you do about that? The thing that I'm suggesting to you is if you're thinking about what you don't want, your mind is probably leaving out the don't, and that's why you haven't gotten it. Um, it's kind of like if the waiter comes over and says, "Can I do anything for you?" and you scream, "Don't bring bread," um, and he's don't deaf. He can hear all the other words, but he's don't deaf. The more you keep screaming, "Don't bring bread," the more bread you're going to get. And a whole lot of us get stuck because our minds speak, well, understand different. I don't know whether they talk, but probably do, but our minds are understanding different languages than we understand.